Thank you very much, and first of all, a thank you and then an apology. Thank you for asking me to introduce this waste session. It's a great privilege to be here and a great privilege to be given the platform. But an apology, I'm going to have to leave at 3:30 when the session will be in the middle. I'm very sorry about that. If anyone wants to talk to me and I won't be there, please do email me. Robert and Catherine have all the contact details for Green Angel Syndicate, which I'll just spend a couple of minutes introducing to you, and then I want to spend a couple of minutes introducing the waste session, if I may. My name is Nick Lyth, and I'm one of two directors of a new business angel syndicate called Green Angel Syndicate, or GAS, which specialises in investments that are of benefit to the green economy generally, but specifically we like to invest in businesses that are operating in energy sectors and water sectors. We have made thus far 5 investments. They have, I have to say, all been in England, bar one, which is in Scotland. We're prepared to invest anywhere around the UK, and indeed further afield. We're prepared to invest in Ireland, Maureen, as I said earlier. And we've looked at investments in Portugal, which I was talking earlier to Emma about. And we've looked at investments in the Netherlands. We have 35 active investors. We have another 30 or 40 interested investors, and indeed we are expanding, and we're ambitious. We're keen to grow. In the 2 years we've been going, we're now up to around 3 million invested. So as far as this audience is concerned, we're interested in all of these sectors, and there isn't a single presenter whose company isn't one that would be suitable for us to invest in. I'm the gatekeeper, so the person to talk to is me, and if after we've been through a process that I'll take you through, I like what you do, I'll then recommend it to my co-director, who is the lead investor, a gentleman called Colin Rogers, and his responsibility is then to take it out to the investment, the investors in the syndicate. So that's enough about gas. I'd like to say a few words about waste, if I may. It's a great treat to be able to introduce waste because, as I suspect a lot of you in the room do realise, the world we now live in and the world that we're discussing today about clean tech and environmental companies, environmental innovations, has transformed, and it transformed about 10 years ago. If you go back before then, when I was first getting involved in the sector, I first met Ian Gulland, who I think has left now, hasn't he? When Ian Gulland was managing director of the dominant charity, the dominant organisation in Scotland dealing with community recycling. And in those days, anybody who was wanting to be involved in anything that was to do with the environment or to do with what we now call green, what we then called sustainable. And it was dominated almost exclusively by recycling as a subject. And there was then this enormous watershed in 2006, 2007, caused by Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth and Lord Stern's report on climate change, which took sustainability off the agenda and put climate change on the agenda. And the huge difference that made was that whereas the world of our policymakers, our establishment, our commerce, our decision makers in private and public sectors didn't really understand sustainable, and they shifted the responsibility for sustainability onto communities and local government who understood recycling but very little else. Everybody understood climate change for a very simple reason, whereas sustainability had very, very obscure threats embedded in it. Climate change carried a very obvious threat. We're all going to die. And that was a very easy message for the man and woman in the street to understand. And so the media got hold of it, it became politicized, it became something that led to a number of themes to be identified, dominated now by energy. And energy started to really move forward. Things like the water sector is much slower, but it's coming. Sustainable transport, which links in with energy very heavily, came onto the agenda. And recycling disappeared. So we live in a world now where recycling is, as Ian said this morning, it's broadly speaking understood. We're doing it. We can do a lot more. Ian moved from community recycling into something that was called RAP Scotland, which was largely ignored by Scotland. It was a Whitehall-created organisation that lived and worked out of headquarters in Banbury. But it was at this point that the Scottish government that had transferred from the Labour administration, the Labour coalition, to the SNP administration that Fergus Ewing represents. And they, with a truly visionary approach, got behind renewable energy and have subsequently got behind water with the hydronation policy, and saw it as an opportunity to create a real point of difference for Scotland. And enormous amounts of attention, amounts of money were created, and they said to RAP that they were taking on control of it, so that the 7 or 8 million that was committed by Scottish government to support RAP in Banbury was held back in Scotland for RAP's activities in Scotland. And that was when they created Zero Waste Scotland to create the agency that would fulfil their vision of hands-on intervention led from Holyrood in Scotland in waste. And Zero Waste Scotland has become an absolutely leading organisation in the field, and of course has moved out from recycling and the waste that is in the name into all the sorts of things that Ian talked to you about this morning, which cover the whole range of activities that fall under the label of green, that address climate change. And so in introducing the section which is labelled waste, I'm delighted. It's in a way taking me back to where I started 14 or 15 years ago in this field. But watching the way it's developed since then into a much broader field. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I'd like now to ask Robert to introduce the presenters.
Thank you very much. I didn't know